everybody. Welcome to Descendants, Behind the Book. The book we're talking about was written by none other than Pastor Sonny Arguinzoni Jr. I am Randal Smalls, the Better Life Coach, who I get the distinct privilege of talking about this wonderful work of art because, well, I put in the time. I put in the effort. We've been friends for over 30 years, been great friends, met at, when we were I think we were like 10 years old, it was something like that. And so we've known each other for so long, and I'm so excited to talk with him about this. See, so many people have the idea, that'd be a good idea for a book. That'd be a good idea for a book. But it's not for the faint of heart. So Pastor Sonny Arguinzoni Jr. has put in the time and the effort and produced an incredible life story about the journey of the generations that have produced Victory Outreach and the amazing things about it. So I'm excited to dive into this. Thank you for joining us. You're going to love it. And we welcome none other than the author, Pastor Sonny Arguinzoni Jr.
Well, it's great to be with you, Randal. Like you said, we've known each other for quite a long time, a few decades, but it's been a journey. It has been for both of us. We both come from similar backgrounds, or preachers' kids, and so immediately we hit it off when we first met, and we became friends ever since then.
Yeah.
Went through your journeys together. You went through mine. We helped each other through the years, through the peaks and the valleys of life and ministry.
Yeah.
And everything that we go through. But we're on the top and rising now.
No doubt.
Yeah. It's our time.
Yeah, it is.
To do another level
Right.
of ministry.
The power of partnership.
Power of partnership.
Right?
Yeah.
Just 2 nights ago, we had a great time together, ministry and service, and it's just, there's nothing like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And flowing in the power of God together, and we've done it all over the world. South Africa, Europe, Mexico, different parts of the world. And you're continuing your ministry in Florida and you're still traveling and all that. And I'm continuing with the Mother Church. This is my 24th year pastoring this church.
Is that right?
24 years.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that. I knew it was near 20, but
23 years married,
Yeah.
24 years pastoring. Yeah, almost, quarter of a century almost. And it's
Time
unheard
flies.
of. It's unheard of these days to have 2 pastors of one church for 55 years. My dad did the first part.
Yeah.
And I'm continuing that part of the legacy.
Have you heard this statement, that this stat that they say that the average pastorate is like less than 8 years?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
And then they switch them up.
Right.
They
And
say,
then they
okay,
all
you're done.
switch.
And they go to another.
You go here, and then I'll go there, and then you go. Yeah.
And that's really that's not our philosophy. No. We believe in longevity of ministry, and that you could build as you go through the years. You don't have to decline.
Yeah. Right. It's the truth. So longevity and stick-to-itiveness.
Yes.
Because those valleys and the things that you go through, they require that, to really give it a technical term, stick-to-itiveness. That stick-to-itiveness.
Yes.
So you've done that, and you've been. I like to say this, that we are obviously the author of our own story. So we're writing our own stories. We have, obviously God is ultimate and sovereign and so forth, but we have the role to play in it. And so then what you have done is you have taken this and put it onto the page, which, as you know, you're intimately aware that it's not an easy thing to do.
No.
So I know that from experience.
Yeah. You've written 2 books yourself.
I've written 2 books myself, and you putting stuff to paper. That's one thing. Sitting down and doing it, it requires that pushing through. So congratulations, for real.
Yeah, I think what helped me is, the pandemic was bad for a lot of people, but it helped me refocus my goals.
True.
And gave me time to really reflect and time to work the book.
Right.
And I have a beautiful wife that helps with typing.
Yeah.
I'm an orator.
Right. Yeah.
I'm more of an oral type of leader. I speak it more than I write, but I do write. But she does the typing.
Yeah.
So I got to give credit to my wife Kim.
Yeah.
To helping me with this book.
She is phenomenal. I love your wife. She's She's tremendous in everything that she does, all the way to the decor of the church and everything.
Yeah, beautiful.
I call her secretly Little Joyce Meyer because she has that ability to be able to communicate and teach and all that. So thank God for the helpmate. So
Of course. Yeah.
but this book, when you got it in your hands the first time, after having gone through all of the okay, let's sit down, carve out time to specifically do it, dedicate ourselves. How did it feel when you got the book?
When I finished it,
Yeah.
oh yeah, it was tremendous. It was right in time for our World Conference that we just had in July, and we were waiting on the book. There was a delay because of all the stuff
You
that's
told
going
me.
on in
Yeah.
our country.
Yeah, right.
You know, as far as shipping
Right.
is concerned, everything's backed up. So down to the wire, finally at 4 p.m., right before the night I'm speaking,
You're speaking at 7, right?
7, finally get the books in, and I was relieved. I go, thank God we got it in time, because they gave me, a chance to promote it, and I had a book signing that night. It was so special to me because it was a dream come true.
Yeah. No, and it is emotional to have that feeling of all of this blood, sweat, and tears that culminates, and then you hold the culmination of your blood, sweat, and tears right in here.
Yeah.
Right?
My only fear was this. I'll tell you this. I'm open. I like to tell real stories.
Yeah.
You're going to see it in the book. But that night, I was thinking, okay, if I bomb preaching,
Nobody's going to want to buy my book.
not only that, I'm not going to want to sign it.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
just going to go to my room and sulk.
Right. Yeah.
Have somebody step in for me.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
No, but it was an emotional night. It was a powerful night. And to realize that it got done,
Yeah.
we hit the goal. And to God be the glory.
Right. Absolutely. So, what's funny to me is there's a phenomena. I don't know if you've heard of this, the unboxing videos. Have you seen this?
Tell me that.
So like they'll get a new product and they'll film themselves opening the box and describing it as they unbox it, right? And
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, well the packaging is nice and
Yeah.
and so there's like a whole phenomenon of that. So I say all that to say the unboxing, when you actually held this in your hands for the first time, I don't know if it was the paperback or the...
It was the paperback at that time.
So holding it, what did it feel like? Okay, because it's one thing, culmination, you know it's coming, you're waiting, it's down to the deadline, but then, okay, you held one in your hands.
Yeah.
What did it feel like?
I kind of displayed it right now. I was almost in tears. And they took a picture of me, and I was like, it happened.
Right, yeah.
I'm almost in tears right now because
Yeah.
it's like you...
It's still so fresh, it's just recently happened.
Yeah, moments like that are life-changing, and also, where you're able to have a big achievement. And they say that like out of 80-something% of people that desire to write a book, only 1% actually write and publish their book. So we're 1%ers.
Right on. Feel good about that. I like the sound
That's
of
what my
it.
publisher told me.
Yeah. No, it's
He's
good.
heard it on the New York Times news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, so all of that leading up to it, you're holding it in your hand, you now have it, you've spoken that night, you're signing the book. But what is the book? The book, tell us about the title and the tagline of the book. The title, obviously, Descendants, Continuing a Legacy of Faith and Hope.
Yes.
So, tell us about it.
Hold it up for a second.
Okay.
If you notice, there's parentheses around the S.
Yes.
That was something that God gave me that too. Because I'm a descendant, but there's descendants in the book.
Right. It's true. And some, because of the book, when they get this, I mean, it's still brand new.
Yeah.
But as this goes through the years, there will be the
More
S.
it continues.
Be added. Right.
Yep, that's right. And
Yeah.
so I really felt in my heart that we need to tell our story, my story,
Right.
from my perspective of Victory Outreach. But it's not just Victory Outreach book. It's anyone could benefit from this book.
Right.
Because even an outside person outside of our denomination could benefit from this book.
Anybody who loves God and is interested in stories.
Yes.
And overcoming stories and building stories, because it is a building story of what happened and how this ministry is, and you personally. So it's all of that woven together.
That's right. And so it's a legacy of faith and hope because it goes all the way back to Abraham when God promised him, as a multitude of stars, I'm going to multiply you, your family, and I'm going to bless you, and those who bless you will be blessed, and those who curse you will be cursed. But thank God we have
I feel the
a
anointing
legacy.
as you're talking about this. It's true.
Yeah. And so our patriarch is my dad for our ministry. In 1967, he started this ministry along with my mom. And here we are 55 years later, and we're taking the world at an accelerated pace.
Right.
In over 33 countries around the world. And we're
How many? 33 countries.
Over 33 countries. I think maybe 35 now.
Yeah.
We're starting to build up.
Things just pop up. I mean, they just keep happening. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's a story, it's a journey. The whole thing's a journey of life, but also ministry intertwined with that.
Right.
And I think anyone that reads this book could benefit from it.
Yeah.
In whatever way they see it. And there's also a lot of scriptures in there too.
Yeah. Well, it's a book to help you grow, and I love the aspect of continuing a legacy of faith, a legacy. I said this the other night, and it bears a connection to this, to legacy, is that we accept the wonderful benefits of having a relationship with God, but a lot of times we miss the other side of it, which is responsibility. That we have the responsibility to demonstrate what God has done in our lives. And so a lot of people will come in and it's good, God saved you, He delivered you, He healed you, and that's great. And well, yeah, it's great, and I'm happy for me. But then we have the responsibility to then propagate that message to other people. And that has been taken so very, 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 very seriously from day one, since 1967, that a legacy is being built.
That's right.
That to concern yourself with the responsibility that we have to pass it on to the next generations. I mean, that's what it said throughout the Bible, right?
Right. And so legacy. Where I get this title from is a scripture, Isaiah 54, 2 and 3. And that's one of our promises that God gave my dad many years ago through Dick Mills, a very famous prophet. And we gave him two scriptures, Isaiah 45, 2 and 3, and then 54, 2 and 3. On
I like the way that worked out.
On the third verse, for you shall expand to the right and to the left, and your descendants shall inherit the nations and make the desolate cities inhabited. Now, there's two terms there. Some interpret it inherit, translation-wise, and the others dispossess. It's both.
Right.
So like you just said, you inherit, that's a privilege.
Yes.
You inherit it.
Right.
But what you do with it, to dispossess, you got to take out the enemy.
Yeah.
You got to possess the land. You got to be a forceful man of God or woman of God to actually possess the land. God promised the children of Israel that promised land.
Right.
But they had to go defeat the enemy and take them out under God's power.
It was a cooperation.
Yes.
It wasn't God just, there's the word, and then okay, well, we march right in. No, you had to do the
You had to
marching.
do something
You
with
had
it.
to
If you just inherit something, just sit on it.
Right.
It's like my kids. They want things all the time. Okay, I buy them a bike. They don't use it.
Right. Right. You got to
Right? Or they use it for one day.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to do something with it to enjoy it.
Right.
To enjoy the privilege and the honor to be a recipient of what God wants to bless you with.
Yeah. Well, the legacy of faith and hope. With, what does Jesus say? Something about faith, hope, and love.
Yeah.
That those three things. Hope. Because hope, then a lot of times, if you have hope, then something can be done. Because if you hold on to hope long enough, it turns into faith. And faith then allows you to believe for things and to stretch out and to do something with that. So this continuing the legacy. As people will read the book, they'll feel inspired by your stories. Because one of the things, and I said this to you the other day, that it's very conversational. So it feels like you're having a conversation with you. And to me, that's the greatest. That's the way I love to read books. It feels like somebody's talking straight to you. So feeling that inspiration for their own lives and then for what their vision is, that God gives them a vision. That if you're coming into something connected to a legacy of faith and hope, then that's going to instill something in them, and they're going to pass that on to their generation.
And what I think, that's why this book is important too, that you could start your own legacy. God could use you to start your own legacy of faith. You could break the curse, generational curses can be broken in your family, in your life. And so this should inspire any father, any mother, any grandparent to break the curses of previous generations and start their own legacy of faith and hope. And so that's another piece. And what I love about the reaction I'm getting for this book, it's not just, it's a multi-generational book. So the older people like it, the middle-aged people, which we're kind of there now, and the young people are liking it. But a lot of them don't read. We got to get them to read again.
Right.
The Gen Zs.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they just, digital. But we're going to have it in digital form later on in audiobooks. But people got to read books.
Right. Yeah. The lost art of reading a book.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Powerful. It's available. That wisdom is available in print. Obviously, the greatest wisdom in the scriptures. But the next thing, a lot of times people will say, wow, I'd really like to be around that person. I'd really like to learn what they know. Hello,
Yeah,
right
exactly.
here, it's available for us to learn and to apply to our lives. So,
Can you turn to one of the pages where the QR code, I want to just explain that God gave me a God idea.
yeah,
And a lot of the authors that I talked to, they said, I've never seen that done before.
look at that.
So there's a QR code on almost every chapter in the book. And what you do is you go on that, and then I give a narrative with a video of the person I'm talking about. And it's powerful, really powerful stuff. And then different people like Nikki Cruz said, I've never seen that. Tim Story said, I've never seen that.
Yeah.
How come you don't give me that? He told the same publisher, how come you didn't tell me that?
What did I tell you?
You told me the same
I'm like,
thing.
what in the world? What a phenomenal idea that you had. Like,
And it's a living document.
Right.
Because I could always change up the videos down the road. So in other words, you buy this book, and maybe next year there's a new video. If you
It's
just look at,
interactive.
isn't that cool?
yeah,
Okay.
it really is. It's a phenomenal story that only you can tell. And through the lens that you've witnessed it, you have had an inside track to how this thing has been built.
And the funny thing about it, there's so many other stories I could tell, but they have to be private.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, you tell me later. Listen, this is Behind the Book, Descendants, Continuing a Legacy of Faith and Hope by Pastor Sonny Arguinzoni Jr. You want to get your copy as soon as you possibly can. You can get it at sonnyarguinzonijr.com. You can get it also at vocinfo.com or Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Just the important thing is to get one of these in your hand, to be able to hold it in your hand. Because one of the great things about having this in your hand is you and I both love books. You are able to underline things and highlight things and then go back to it. I have a library of books that I get to go back through, and I can just skim through, and I remember what I read before, right? So getting
I've
one of
seen
these
it
in
at
your
your
hand.
house.
Yeah, yeah, like a whole wall of books. Yeah.
Like I have at my house.
That's
too.
exactly right. So get one of these in your hand. SonnyArguinzoniJr.com, VOCino.com, Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Get one. Order it today. You won't be sad that you did. This has been Behind the Book, and we're going to continue on. You want to watch the next episode when it drops very, very soon. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you soon.